Interpersonal communication. Yay, chapter 3. Whee! Oh man. It going to get deep. It really is. It's going to get deep. And remember the end game. Let's bring it back to the end game, like the end game, the thing that we want to consider and the stuff we want to think about. All right. At the very end of chapter 3, we should have a battle. Oh man, that's the way it's going to start. Okay, we should have a better handle on how to communicate with, how to coexist with, how to work with, how to go to school with, how to become friends with, how to be life partners with. We should have a better handle on how to communicate with people that don't share our same truth. Man, oh, woman, you think that's important in life? Never more important than right now, okay? It's just, gaze out the window. Gaze lovingly out the window at this country right now, okay? This is happening, okay? I watched what people, called the first presidential debate last night. Oh my God, what a dumpster fire. I cannot believe what I saw. I was physically sick to my stomach. Okay, why? Well, I would have opted for civil communication. That's the kind of guy I am. Civil communication. All right. So let's study it and let's look into it and let's think about it. All right. Truth. Perception of the world around us. Let's dive into that. Yesterday, we did. Yesterday, I talked to you about the two, count them, two ways we come to truth. Do not forget that SDM formula. We take things in through our senses. We decipher it. We decode it. Then we make a meaning. Desk is hard. That desk is hard. And I know, you know what? Forget about the desk. We make a meaning about life. We make a meaning about love. We make a meaning about, the world around us, our own environment. Snow is cold. Winter's coming. Okay, all right. The SDM formula then. The second way people come to truth is dogmatically. Dogma. All right. Now, remember dogma. This is a deep truth that's been handed to you. And you didn't invent it. It was given to you, in my case, lovingly by my parents, jammed down my throat in other cases. But it was given. Dogma. Sure. Victim of dogma. Okay? And I say victim of dogma because, trust me, I was. Okay? I wasn't really capable until I was 17-ish. Oh, I know. Exactly your age. I wasn't cognitively capable of outthinking the dogma that was planted in me. I wasn't cognitively capable of cutting the puppet strings. And I want to talk about that. Oh man, oh woman, do I want to talk about that. Okay? By the time I was 16 years old, like I said before, I was a puppet of other people. When people pulled the strings, I went into action. Now listen, other people controlled the strings. I thought and moved and acted as a puppet of other people. My grandfather, for instance. Okay? Like I said before, the beauty of learned behavior is that it can be systematically unlearned. But you got to work hard. And you know what? It's so much easier. It's so much easier to, you know what? since the presidential debates. I've been thinking a lot about politics. So let's use that as an example, shall we? Oh, I know. Politics, the Democrats versus the Republicans. Let's use that, and let's show you some semblance of dogma and dogmatic thinking. Okay? All right, here we go. The fact is, I hear it all the time out in the commons. Out in the commons. You know, the commons filled with commoners. And they all have opinions. And they all pound the table with those opinions. Man, I tell you what, dogma rears its ugly head. Dogma rears its ugly head out in the commons here at Lakeville North High School. Okay, people start screaming. People start yelling. You bring up any controversial issue, and there'll be people pounding on the table, screaming their dogma. Now, how do I know it's dogma? Oh, here's how you can tell. Here's how you can tell that it's dogma. Because remember, dogma is a deep truth given to us by others. But, and here's the third point of dogma, and man, I tell you what, this is how you can smell it a mile away, especially when you step in it. Dogma, a deep truth given to you by others, but you cannot defend it. You cannot defend it other than saying it eventually boils down to, well, my mom told me that that's who I am, and I love my mom. Okay, great. I used to instill dogma in my kids too. Stranger danger. Some dude drives up in a minivan with hand puppets and free ice cream. Run. Chester the molester comes after you. You run. Okay? All right, here's the deal. I gave my kids dogma lovingly. So did my mom. So did my dad. So did my grandfather. And thank God I could cut those puppet strings. Listen, here's out in the comments, here's what it sounds like. You know, I'm going to take Democrats and Republicans. Dogmatic thinking. Okay, so got people pounding on the table. Those darn Democrats, those darn Republicans, and they're yelling at each other. And then, every once in a while, people get into conversations with me, and I go, well, why do you think that way? Because, okay, maybe they're yelling about being Democrats, okay? And I'll say, well, what makes the Democrats so good? And they go, well, because they are. And I say, why? Because we're not Republican. I said, what makes the Republicans so bad? They're idiots. Why? The stuff they believe? Like what? Republican stuff. Well, you know what? I start slowly backing away. Or I change the subject. That's the time to say, man, I tell you what, the Minnesota Wild need a good goalie. and about 8 other good players. Hey, listen, dogmatic thinking runs rampant. Okay, they pound the table. Then I look right at people, and I go, so you're a Republican? Yes. Okay, why? Because it's the best party out there. Why? Because it's not Democrat. Okay? What's wrong with the Democrats? Everything! Like what? The stuff they believe. What do they believe? Democrat stuff. How about those twins? You think they have a shot? Oh, man. I always ask people, so I don't know, because I'm flipping coins here. I don't care your political stance. I don't care who you vote for. I don't. I care about why. Why do you believe that is the truth? So I don't care if you are filled with Democratic dogma. I don't care you're filled with Republican dogma. I care that it's dogma. I care that you are a puppet of whoever instilled that and force-fed you that philosophy. And you haven't thought about this. Why? Because it's super easy to just go, well, my dad says that I need to vote this way, and I love my dad. That's super easy and super dangerous. Super dangerous. Well, my grandfather tells me that, my grandfather talked to me too. He told me a lot of stuff. Yeah. Thank God that you can cut the puppet strings of dogma. Republicans, Democrats, I'll ask you this. So you say, and I have to. I'm picking one. Let's say you're a Republican, okay, and you're out in the Commons, and you're screaming about the philosophy A of the Republican Party. You're screaming about something, and I come up to you and I say, what's going on? Oh, here's what okay, and I say, why? And you say, because. And I say, why do you believe that? And you say, because it's true. And I say, where did you get that truth? Well, yeah, okay. Now, here's when I do this. I just have to do this. Here's what I'm holding here. Here's what I got. Okay, I have the 98 planks in the Republican Party platform. The what? And this is what I say. This is what I say. Have you studied what it means to be a Republican? Have you studied what it means to be a Democrat? Have you read the 98 planks in the Republican Party platform on which the party stands? The 98 what? Yeah, okay, you're a Democrat? You're a Democrat? Okay. Have you read the 101 planks? 101 planks about, the Democratic Party on which they stand. Okay? And I went Republican with this because this one was 15 pages less than the Democrat, so it was easier to print, and I didn't want to waste trees. Okay. All right, listen. Have you read the 98 planks in the Republican Party platform upon which the party stands? No. But my dad's... Stop. Do you understand what your party truly believes? Do you understand what they truly believe? Have you studied what they believe? Oh, well, I know. Let's start with healthcare. Have you studied what they believe about elections? Right there. Okay, elections. Have you studied what they believe about FEMA? What they believe about censorship and the internet? Yeah. Have you studied what they believe about tort reform? Do you tort reform? What? Do you understand their stance on things like gun control? Do you really understand their stance on the constructs of Social Security? Do you know from their own writing, oh man, what they believe about education? And so on, and so on. Here's one on term limits. Advancing term limits. What? Federal workforce. Reducing federal debt. Do you know? Okay, let's pretend you're 18. Let's pretend you're 18 and you're going to the voting booth. And you're going to cast a vote. And you, in this case, I can do the same thing for the Democrats. I just printed this one. Look. In this case, you haven't studied what it means. You've listened to 1 or 3 opinions. You go to the voting booth and you are a puppet of whoever planted those opinions into you. I was a puppet of my grandfather. You want to cut the puppet strings? Oh, I think you do. I really do. You want to cut the puppet strings? You want to be able to think for yourself, by yourself? Do you want to be able to invent your own truth and then act on the truth that you invented that matches who you truly are? Cut the puppet strings. You want to do that? You want to do that? Oh, man. See, here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. That's going to take some work. That's going to take some work. So now I'm going to show you the STAR model, which is the cure for dogmatic thinking. The STAR model is the cure for dogma. The STAR model allows you to cut the puppet strings. Be your own person, controlled by you. Controlled by you. You know? Yeah, see, I still believe some of the stuff that my dad threw at me as dogma. But it's not his truth anymore, because I looked into it. I did. I used the STAR model before I even invented it, before I even understood that there was this concept out there. I did these things. It helped me invent the STAR model that you're going to see. Maybe you go through all of the work that it takes and you come out and you are the best Republican ever. You come out and you are a staunch Democrat. Awesome. Awesome. Because you've cut the puppet strings. You are nobody's puppet. You're doing it by yourself, for yourself. Okay, remember what we're doing. Remember what we're doing. We're looking into how we come to our own truth, because it's going to be so very, very, very important to be able to discuss truth with the people we work with and the people we care about. All right? You know, I have friends that pound the table at their homes, in their families, and they pound the table and they say, this is what you are. This is who you are. This is what you're going to believe as long as you live under my roof. And they pound the table, and it's my way or the highway. Okay? You know why? There are a ton of people out there. There are countless people out there that want you right here. You know? They want you right here. They want you controlled. They want you to be a puppet. Okay? All right. I hope that sinks in. I hope now you have some impetus to study the STAR model, because here it comes, the cure for dogma.